Hey, it's Kevin Hart with my pal Catherine O'Hara.
No, I'm more of a bestie.
Kinda, sorta. Right now, we're cash backing on everything we need for the holidays with Chase Freedom Unlimited.
I got some ornaments and lights.
Tis the season to cash back.
And lots of wrapping paper.
Maybe you're cash backing on a present bought for me?
About that.
I know you're kidding.
Am I?
How do you cash back? Learn more at chasefreedom.com. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Restrictions and limitations apply. Cards are issued by JPMorgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC.
Yo, I remember when Gilbert was on his tear. We played.
Wait, Gilbert?
No,
Gilbert was that guy?
Gilbert's tear.
Was Gilbert really that guy?
Wait.
Gilbert was that guy?
Stuff in the bag.
You have never in your life.
He was putting clinics on.
Ask that question.
Why?
Ask that question one more time, Allie.
Everyone's like, was Gilbert really that guy?
Oh my God,
like,
Allie.
Bucket.
Everyone's eyes.
You were just like, what is he averaging? Yeah.
It was like whenever he wanted to do it,
he's going to get it.
He was going to do it.
This is who he was, and this is no lie. This is no lie, and I've said this multiple times. If Dame Lillard and John Wall were combined, was Gilbert. He was as fast as John Wall. He was as fast as John Wall and as quick. And he could shoot like Dame Lillard, bro.
It was so easy.
He was the first person that shot a three and then just turned around and just
it went in.
Before it went in against Kobe.
It was like a 40 piece to go with it.
It was like a 50 piece he gave Kobe. He gave Kobe a 50 piece.
Teammates asked me to talk him
that.
down. They were
Why?
like, Channing, didn't you go to college with him? I was like, no, I know Gil though. Like he took me on my visit. They go, yo, like be really nice with him so he doesn't give us 70.
Right.
Gilbert gave us 32 and a half, and one of our guards faked ankle injury. They said, ooh, it's flaring.
Name that guard.
Gilbert was
no. I said, Gilbert would look, and Gilbert would say, come on.
He didn't have the best career, but he was the best NBA player at his prime from Arizona. At his prime, there was no play. Even Sean Elliott, all these guys, like at his prime, like he was the best
Andre
player.
Iguodala is really good, but Gilbert was the star. Right. Gilbert was, I will say, Gilbert is the most talented player ever.
Right. And was one of the first guys. Remember, they changed the rules. Because he was a second-round pick and got paid all that money, and they changed the rules because second-round picks.
Because basically they were about to come up with the Gilbert Arenas rule, saying that like, hey, we took the risk on this player, and now we can't afford to keep them, and so they wanted to come up with like a rule so they could keep their second-round picks or limit their pay, and it wasn't gonna happen. So Gilbert, after his second year, now mind you, he was only 19 years old. Oh no, he was probably 21. But he was 21. Shout out Savage, and he goes and signs a $66 million contract. And you're just like, that only added to his psychosis.
That was his last contract?
No, it was 6 years, 66. So he made like $11 million a year. Then the next one was like 120, 130.
For reference.
What?
Yeah, Gilbert.
For Allie, reference, we got on a bus. It was like a Coach-O thing. So it's like Sean Elliott, Steve Kerr, like, you, Damon Stoudemire. I was having to be on there.
Include him. Look at
everybody.
You,
Mike Wright, like the who's who of Arizona basketball. And Gilbert and Richard have this magnetism of talking shit.
Oh, really?
Where it gets to be, it gets to be sometimes awkward because Gilbert has no boundaries. There's no like, you know what? Don't say that.
Same as Richard.
Yeah, I was okay for that.
Gilbert's far worse than I am. Let's just put that in perspective.
Far worse. Gilbert on this bus next to Steve Kerr.
Far worse.
Gilbert would choose violence.
Was like just at a randomly goes, hey Richard, I remember my first $100 million. And all of us on the bus are like,
no, but he was
one.
But he was unbearable. But Gilbert, this is what happened. So Gilbert gets cut from the USA team. This is how much. This is just to give everyone an example of how Gilbert was that dude. He gets cut from the USA team. Now the coaches on that USA team were it was Krzyzewski, it was Nate McMillan, and there was somebody else. I can't remember.
Suns coach. D'Antoni.
D'Antoni. So Gilbert, after he gets cut, starts running his mouth like Gilbert does. Starts talking shit. I'm gonna roast every one of them. I'm gonna roast every single one of them. I'm gonna kill every single one of these coaches. So Gilbert goes and has like 50 against D'Antoni and the Suns. So then he's playing Portland on this because he's a West Coast guy. So he's playing Portland on the next part of that West Coast road trip. And it becomes like the game of the week on NBA TV because everybody was like, what game should be the game of the week? And they're like, Gilbert Arenas at Portland. Like everyone was tuned into that game because they wanted to see Gilbert try and go for 50. Like that's what he was doing for like a 3-year stretch before he hurt his knee. He was ridiculous.
Lauren, God, my wife.
Oh boy.
Oh wow.
Oh,
Wow.
if I had to be anyone else, it would be Lauren.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. What about that liquor?
It's just Chardonnay. Anyways,
He's retarded.
You literally just
do
told
you
me that.
remember? I know it's a bad habit. I call Logan my brother Hendrix, like my son. Do you remember when he went and got shoes from Nordstrom's and gave the Lakers 40? He was hooping
Wait,
in like
excuse me, what?
Dior,
What
like
kind
Dior
of shoes?
shoes.
gold
Dior shoes.
Dior, like Louis Vuitton.
Why is
They
this guy
were
not in the league anymore?
Stop it.
No, because he's crazy.
Stop it.
He's,
No, he is batshit crazy.
Gilbert should have been a Hall of Famer. Like if his knee got bad. That's when he tore his knee up.
That was the thing.
That was it. Once he
That
tore
was
his
it.
knee up. But the other crazy thing about him tearing up his knee is you know how he tore up his knee, right? Do you remember how he tore up his knee? So he got in trouble. He got in trouble because he was late to shoot around, and so Eddie Jordan, my former coach with the Nets, who became his head
that
coach,
Princeton
wasn't going to
offense,
play
fuck
him.
me.
Wasn't going to play him to start the game.
It's
so
what
then Gilbert
Jameson-
leaves the arena. Gilbert leaves the arena
In a temper tantrum?
In a temper tantrum, because that's what Gilbert does. He leaves the arena. The owner or whoever gets him to come back to the arena. Gilbert shows up in the first quarter, and they were like, "Hey, Gilbert, go in the game." And he was just like, "Oh, whatever." And he was like, "Oh, I gotta go to the bathroom." Comes back in, goes in the game, tears up his knee that game.
Oh shit, that's a true story.
No, he even said it because we asked him like, "Hey, is there a moment that you regret or something that you do?" Or he's like, "That day." Because like that day of like he threw a temper tantrum because he was late, and then he ends up tearing up his knee, and he was still only a 6'3" guard, so it's kind of like you've seen with all due respect
Is he
guys like
only that
Kemba,
tall?
Isaiah, when they get hurt, like that quickness is gone, it changes their game, and then there might have been some other extracurricular things for Gilbert that they were like, eh. Everybody wants to know what Gilbert was doing pre, so
I want no
I'm
parts
not
of that.
going to. You don't want no parts. Looking like Channing hiding. So this is what happened, right? And I'm gonna tell the story because I've had like Trayvon Free hit me up. He was like, "Yo, what was Gil doing? I gotta know." So basically, everybody gotta know. So this is what happened, right? And I'm gonna put my guy on, but I'm snitching. I'm fucking snitching. Fuck him, especially because Duke lost. Shout out North Carolina. So. We we crushed Michigan State. I'm talking about fucking obliterate them. It was like I looked over and Tom Izzo had his hand like this, and I was just like, yeah, suck on that, Tom. No, but I like Tom Izzo. He's a great coach. So we're getting ready, but Gil got a hip pointer. Really, really bad, right? Gil got a hip pointer, and it was messed up. So that night, everybody's flying in to get ready for the national championship. I think the girl that Gilbert was dating at the time, I actually remember her name. She flew in, family, friends flew in. Let's just say Gilbert was not getting his rest the night before the game. And so instead of resting his hip, he was stressing his hip. And then he gets into that game and he cannot move. That's why his stats were fucking horrendous. That's where all that was. And the person that really snitched on him, and I'm snitching, I'm telling all of it, is my guy, Jay Gardner. Jay Gardner literally was like, man, I didn't even get any sleep. Man, Gilbert up all night, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, oh. And then both of them played like ass in the final. And yeah.
No sock on the door?
No sock. No, it's before the national championship. And Gilbert, again, Gilbert crazy. He don't care. Just saying, for all the people that wanted to know.
Nah.
Smacking buns before the thing. Maybe he was de-stressed.
But I see, we heard y'all had a pact, though, where there was no smacking going on. Y'all made a team pact where nobody could smack during the tournament.
That's in the first. First of all,
I was going to say, I know you guys were savages.
No, look, my point is like, no one, like, I didn't have a girlfriend at the time. Channing never had a girlfriend in college. So it was like, that wasn't everybody. That like, it was just, Gilbert's long-term girlfriend flew out. Like, that's just the facts. People want to know. I'll tell you the truth.
True love.
Gil seems to think he didn't do anything. He said he had like
now,
a
do you
peck
believe
issue
that?
or something, but he
Josiah, this is, yeah. Oh, so Gil, you believe Gil when he says he didn't do anything?
So look, I'm currently getting a bag from No Chill Gilbert Arenas and Fubo.
Shout out Fubo TV.
I'm gonna support my guy.
Shout out our boy Danny Corrales.
But Gil to me, like, Yeah, Danny's a legend. But, because Danny got all the stories too. That's the one thing. And it's great for me to know the same shit we were doing at UCLA, y'all were doing out there, because we would come out there and y'all had your own rooms and shit like that. We couldn't get that off in Westwood with those rents. You had to be like a Capono type to really be able to finagle and finesse. We were roommates, all that good stuff. But we were sock on the door always. You were sock on the door? Rules. Sock on the door or hey.
or hey is
or hey, you might walk into some whatever. Hey, you never know.
Yeah. There was never any of those phone calls.
We had the knock. We had the special knock.
You had the knock. Did you ever have those phone calls like, yo, come down to room 43. I need some help.
No.
Oh my God. Y'all need some help. Speaking of. No, I'm not going to place it right here, but y'all need some help. All of it.
No. Not like help like that. Like help as in like, first of all, in college, it was always about the ratio. If there was 4 girls and 2 guys, you had to call your teammates or your boys. And when I'm not talking about a sexual thing, I'm talking about actual just hanging out. Because what happens is like, if 2 girls and 2 guys are talking, then the other 2 girls get bored and like, well, we want to go. Then they all fucking leave. You got to keep the ratio.
Yeah.
Come on, I'm not lying here. Same thing. If there was 4 guys and 2 girls, eventually the guys are going to be like, well, we're out. But the difference is that those 2 guys are like, all right, well, bye. Like, because guys will just leave each other. Hey, the guys will just leave each other.
That was a game of chicken. That was a game of chicken. Like, hey, I'm going, I'm leaving.
Listen, if the
who
two,
coming with me? You? No?
Listen, if the 2 grenades are grumpy, then the whole group is leaving. Yes. Channing knows about grenades.
Yeah, it's a strategy to all this. Science, you really had to break it down. You may jump off and be like, nah. But we used to get it cracking in Tucson. We used to stay at that Marriott, but you could see all the rooms.
The Marriott was great where you get all the parties. Yo, funny story. One of our teammates
was like
Gentle Benz, Frog and Firkin.
We pull up right as that was getting out. We play Arizona State Thursday nights, hit that bus to Tucson, right as Gentle Benz is getting out. We're all just standing out, hit the little Circle K down at the end of the street. I remember all that. Did not even go buy nothing. Just had to see what was cracking. Just see what was going on.
Allie doesn't know what to say here. She's like, what? First of all, don't act like you didn't.
Toledo, you said she used to go cow tipping.
Really,
Allie used to run.
Really, Channing?
Yeah, cow tipping in Toledo.
You get in trouble for doing that, by the way.
Do you really?
You never went cow tipping. You never went cow tipping. You never went cow tipping. Not once, Allie.
I would like to keep my job. Never. Have I gone cow tipping?
Yes, Allie. You've been cow tipping?
No, and can you stop acting like I didn't have a life too? Our code word was Go Rockets.
Oh,
I don't even know what that means.
To get it
go
in,
Red Rockets, go Red Rockets, go Red Rockets, go Red.
Michael, you said that you were in the gym workouts with Steph.
Yeah, we have spent a couple off seasons, and I'll go out there and work out with him for 5-6 days.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Does he do anything special, or is it just like he just does everything better than everyone
people
else?
ask this question, man. Tell us.
Yeah, I mean, Steph, so like when we do shooting competitions, it's fun because we keep track of all the wins. So like we'll do, you got to shoot 3 different shots, and it's the first one to 12 makes. And in those workouts, like it's just so competitive, like because we both just sometimes don't miss. So we go back and forth on spots, but then like I think that the defining characteristic with Steph is his pace. Like the way he works out in the drills he does is all about getting him as tired as possible so he can shoot while he's tired. So he does like drills that some people do in the half court, like the star drill, where you run from the top to the corner to the wing to then the other wing to then the other corner. But he'll do that. But he'll do that full court, and he'll do it like 2 times through, and he has to make he has to make 9 out of 10, but he's doing it the full length of the court, running this corner to the other corner to the.
Listen, Richard, I could shoot, so I'd be all right, but 9 out of 10 is ridiculous. Richard would be. Richard would look like Rip Hamilton after one drill.
I wouldn't start the drill. I wouldn't start. I'm like, yo, I can't do that. I can't.
But it's like 10 when you're tired, and then if you don't get it, like he'll go, then I'll have to go do it, and then if we don't get it, we just got to go one right after the other. Like his trainer Brandon Payne is really kind of like he gets Steph right. It's very technical. So
let me ask you this. So obviously you've had those workouts with him. I feel like I didn't say with that said, dude.
Oh, my bad.
You've had those workouts with him, and I feel like Denver and Golden State, you guys have had some epic battles just against one another as a team, from a team perspective. So knowing what he puts in, and this isn't an interview about Steph, but I'm saying when you're out there on the floor and he goes off for those moments throughout the course of a game, like what's going through your mind?
I would say, like, some players, even you can know every single one of their moves. Like, there's defensive players who study their guy to a T. Like PJ Tucker's one of those guys. He said he studied, KD, every move he wants to do, every count or whatever. You still can't do anything about it because it's in the course of a flow of a game. So, like, I know, like, we all know what Steph is trying to do. He's trying to pass
Can't
it.
stop it.
When he gives the ball up, he's trying to come off of staggers or whatever. But in the course of a game, man, it's going to happen. There's going to be mess. Like, he's going to get his 35, and it's just, trying to make it as tough as possible.
What is the one thing that you have, because I love it to hear this, and I think it's great that younger players need those. Like, you got to have the mentors. You got to have the people that you want to go work out with, that you want to train from. And like I said, I've heard elite things about your shooting. Can you tell people at home, because they see shots in the game, can you tell people at home how shots are not missed in practice or even in training session? They're just not, like, very few shots are missed.
Yeah. Very few. We just got like one of those arc things installed in our gym that tells you like the arc of your shot or whatever, and how many. It keeps track of all your makes. So they just installed that like a couple months ago. So like when we go in the gym now, we'll turn that on and it'll just keep track of all your makes, all your spots, whatever. And like it just turned on the other day, and it just went through like the team's like highest percentage, and I think like from three pointers just in workouts, and that's all that. Like, I'm at like 80%, like, in just working out. Like, and I didn't know that. That's just going to the gym, turning that thing on, and just shooting, doing different stuff. So, like, guys.
Just 80?
But it's like, you might go in there and just mess around, though. You might be shooting court shots, whatever. But no, like, NBA players, even the guys that aren't shooters, like, you put them in drills, they're really not missing a lot.
They're
you
not
know what
missing.
I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why, like, you really got to define a shooter by then, like, the game. Because a really, really good shooter might be shooting spots with a decent shooter, and they're going to compete because guys really don't miss in practice. You know what I mean? Like you said, there's so many guys that can get in the zone spot shooting. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So really it's how that translates to a game, I think.
Are you going to play in Brooklyn next year when Kevin Durant?
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you
Brooklyn's nice, bro. I work for Brooklyn. We can hang out.
I would be lying to you if I told you me and my wife hadn't
had that conversation.
At least perused the Zillow market.
Oh, it's brutal.
Hey, when a big fish like KD asks out, the whole league goes,
oh shoot,
I get it.
I get it.
Okay, hang on.
That get it.
Hey,
that's a great question.
Are you going to renew this? Well, listen, KD's here. No.
That's a great question.
Airbnb, go back home.
Who are the only untouchable guys in the league? Wow. When someone like that asks for, are there any?
Luka? There's like 7 or 8, maybe 10.
I disagree.
10.
I disagree.
What? I say there's maybe 3.
Okay, like untouchable.
Bingo. Untouchable. Luka's untouchable.
Okay, well,
Luka's
Steph
untouchable.
is untouchable.
Steph.
Okay, so you guys are now. Hear me out. We're gonna say
and
this,
I'm
and we're
gonna mess
know.
around and say Jason Tatum.
No. Disagree.
What?
This is what I'm saying. Is Embiid? You're not going to trade Kevin Durant for Embiid. You're not going to.
No, we're not saying for Kevin Durant, but we're saying for anyone. Is Joel Embiid untouchable? No.
Damn.
For anyone?
What kind of
I'm
package?
saying for Kevin Durant.
Just for reference, what package are you putting together for Joel Embiid?
Jokic.
Well, okay, because since we just saw what kind of package Rudy got, Joe's got to be.
So, okay, give me the car, parking lot. Let me get your Delta miles.
I need naming rights. Yeah.
Right.
To your first and second born.
Joel Embiid is untouchable.
No, he's not.
Joel Embiid.
So you mean to tell me if Milwaukee said, hey, we'll trade you Giannis for Joe?
Okay, bye. Right.
Listen, so he's not untouchable.
Right, he's not untouchable.
Giannis. So
Giannis is untouchable.
Giannis,
I believe
Luka, and Steph.
Yeah.
Giannis, Luka, and Steph.
Is LeBron untouchable?
Nah, homie, because
but I'm saying, think about it.
He's going to touch you back. Stop it.
I'm asking if Milwaukee was like, hey, we'll give you Giannis, give us Braun.
Stop it. Stop
absolutely.
asking that.
But absolutely. Giannis is 27.
I'd throw in a first-round pick.
Giannis
to make that deal.
Oh, you gonna take this? Okay, get up out of here.
Okay.
Are you listening, Jeannie?
No, hell no.
So
Bron ain't
three
listening to this
players.
podcast.
Yeah.
Luka, Steph, and Giannis.
That is it.
That's it. You think that?
That's we're
Can you think of any? Can you think of any more?
I just think when I think of untouchable, I think of like
Jokic.
Look, Jokic. I put Bron in there. I put Embiid in there in the sense of the team that is built around somebody. They're not going to trade Embiid for if they're like, hey, we'll give you straight up Embiid for Kevin Durant. I just don't think they're.
No, are we talking about strictly for KD?
Yeah,
I'm talking about when.
Well, then
KD
there's a lot.
said
There's
he-
probably
yeah.
there's a lot of guys.
that's what I'm saying.
There's a lot of guys.
We're
then.
referencing for Kevin Durant, not just
Yeah.
in general.
When KD said he wanted out.
There's a lot of guys.
Here is my and this is a big word, trepidation.
Oh,
Do you know what that means?
Yeah, my caution.
You just made the guy walking by laugh.
Yeah.
He's like, oh wow. Yeah, see, we caught him. God,
Hey,
that's how you.
My
work
man
the
go
crowd.
get some buzz tonight. I'll tell you that. He had the pants up and the hair done.
Oh man, he
Gray
did.
hair. Look, he's
What is your-
yeah,
what is your
salt and pepper.
He gave you a
Little
good
salt
knee
and
slap.
Oh yeah, he's definitely he's a zaddy.
my trepidation.
You guys, there are kids walking by.
Yeah, hey kids. Hey, how you doing, big guys? You guys,
Hey, you know what he looks
eat
like?
your vegetables.
He looks like Fuse.
what?
Look just like Fuse.
Nerd talk.
I was about to say, I don't know
Yeah,
what that is.
yeah, that's nerd talk.
Sorry.
Where were we?
Hey,
We were going to talk basketball.
Your
weren't we?
trepidation.
Oh,
With
trepidation.
Kevin Durant is if I trade my future for him to win now, he gets bored easily. Is the honest truth. What situation he was in Golden State where everything was, he could have been the best version
Yeah,
of
but he'd have to
himself.
deal with Draymond. No, shout out my guy Draymond.
But then he goes to Brooklyn. He tries it out. It doesn't work. And he's like, what's next? I don't want to be a team that trades the next 5 years for the next 2. That's what I would be afraid of.
Did you see what they tried to get from Minnesota?
Who?
You have to ask for
They
that.
tried to get Cat,
Ant.
Ant-Man, and 4 firsts. Are you out of your mind?
But isn't that what he's ultimately going to have to, Brooklyn's going to have to get?
No, absolutely.
You're not getting an
You-
entire
you reach
franchise.
for the moon
that's a
and-
You're
franchise.
gonna leave.
So you need one of
You're gonna
them.
give him and you're gonna leave him with D'Angelo Russell. Well, shout out my guy D'Lo, but like
Love D'Lo,
yeah,
yeah.
but
So you
no.
need him, a role player in picks,
So
ideally.
yeah, just referencing things that are out there, right?
Yeah.
Not breaking any news. Things that are out there, right? The one that I saw was like, okay, BI, myself, and picks.
Yeah.
That
Makes sense, yes.
But Cat, an all-star.
Right.
And did he make all
Yeah, all
team?
NBA third team.
All
third team,
NBA third team. Ant-Man, who's
number one
Potential.
pick.
in 5 years
Ceiling.
might be a
Gonna be-
top 5 player in the NBA.
Agreed. He's
Wait,
nice.
wait,
He's
elaborate
nice.
on
Wait.
No, he's nice.
Wait, just give me a second. And picks. That is entirely too much.
Do you
That's
think?
entirely too
Do you
much.
think that's because of what happened with Rudy?
No.
No.
That
That's
was just
No.
in general.
I mean, KD is still a top.
1, 3.
He's unbelievable.
Top 5,
top 3,
one,
top 4.
top 1,
He's
3,
unbelievable.
5.
What about 2?
Right.
When-
On
okay,
any day.
still a one of one
Here's
guy.
how I look at how good players are. When you have him and you go, oh, he's going to be healthy all 82, you could just mark 42 games in
Yep.
Yeah.
off the rip. You're like, yeah, we're going to win 42.
Like when he goes for a 50 ball in Detroit, and you're like, this is a worse team, but for some reason, Kevin decided we were going to win tonight.
he felt like
we
He
were going to
said,
win.
if we win, we're going back home and got the day off. So he goes, okay, let me tie these a little tighter. And here we go.
And he's that dude.
Seem pretty united on the Dallas front with the exit of Jalen Brunson. Who outside of Luka?
Oh, they just got my man from
bro. You just need Luka Magic, bro.
Dude, this bothers me. We just got my guy from the power forward from Houston.
Christian Wood.
Yes.
Christian Wood.
So, you know what? I actually, I've known Nico since I was 19, 20 years old. And I got a quick chance to talk to him. And, regardless of what we were talking about with specifics, I love what he said. And he was like, I have to be patient of who I surround Luka with because what we have is something amazing. And I don't want to rush and bring somebody in and ruin that chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
That, to me, number one, shows the sign of like an amazing GM, but that shows the commitment to Luka and his development and his youth. And it shows that they're bringing in the right guys at each step that they take. So they made the first round, they lost. made the first round, they lost. Last year, they did their thing, beat the shit out of the Suns, then they lost. So they're progressing, but each year they're getting better. Now they've, Jalen Brunson, congratulations, going to the Knicks, get that money. But is he that guy that was going to take you to the next level? I don't know. Maybe we'll see. So now he has a little bit of wiggle room. You're allowing Luka to be the full leader, but without just throwing him into the fire. You bring in Christian Wood, who's an automatic bucket, gives you defensive versatility, length, energy, has he's going to have a new vigor for life because he's playing with a true point guard, right? And just a bucket getter, an MVP caliber player. And I think the environment is going to be good for both of them. I like the Mavericks on paper this summer, like what they've done. I like them in the future, and I'm curious to who they pick up to be their energy leader.
Yeah. Rich?
Yeah, Luka, people, let's not get into what's happened with LeBron James, right? Let's not get into the, I don't like him, oh, he's not my, like Luka is as special as Bron is. And I will Luka is that type of special. Right? Am I lying, Kay?
No, you're not lying. It's wild to watch. If I were to pay money to watch a player, I would tell you, pay whatever you have to pay to watch him. Because on TV, it doesn't no justice.
Everyone knows, like, LeBron James is going to go down as 1 or 2, depending on what your opinion is, greatest basketball player. Luka is that special. The way he plays the game, what he's able to do, the dominance that he's had at an early age, like the game is a joke for him. He's playing a different game. Now, does he have the physical gifts to play as long as LeBron will and has played? That's yet to be seen. But currently, does he have the same type of, they're playing a different type of basketball game than everyone else? Yes, like Luka's that guy. And there's been tons of guys that weren't like that. There's only been probably about 7 or 8 in probably NBA history when they showed up. It was like, oh, well, it's different for him. Mm-hmm. And so I'm glad that the Dallas Mavericks are taking their time and making sure, like, hey, we're going to build this. We're going to build it methodically. We're going to build slow because we have one of the potential greatest players to ever play the game already at this point in time. He's one of the greatest ever at this age. So even if he didn't get any better than what he is right now for the next 10 years, he is a first ballot Hall of Famer. Yep. Even if he didn't get 1 ounce better, from what he is at 27, 8, and 8.
Was hurt. Yeah. Dude, what? Tim Hardaway Jr. is an automatic 18 to 24 points a game. I think maybe let's go 16 to 20. Let's go 16 to 20. But that's a lot, and they still did all that last year without him.
We could sit here and talk about them forever. Obviously, Luka as well. The amount of times
now he's ready to move us on.
Yeah, tweeted he's just different.
He is different.
Luka, it's awesome.
Everyone knows that damn left step back is coming. He can't do shit about it.
No,
they know it. Here it comes.
What he did to the Phoenix Suns. What he did to the Phoenix Suns and was talking shit.
Oh, love
when
it.
He's talking shit to the Phoenix Suns, like Luka's different, man. Like he gets mad and he's gonna take he takes shit personally. Like the way he talks to people. I know, Allie. We'll keep going. I'm not gonna look.
I got you.
Hey, it's Kevin Hart with my friend Catherine O'Hara.
Tis I.
And we're cash backing on our entire holiday gift list with Chase Freedom Unlimited.
We are. How about cologne for Jack?
You know what? That's cash backing and it's in the air.
Ooh, and I love this scarf for Barbara.
And I love the cash backing.
Ooh, focus on the giving, Kev.
And one more on the list. Somebody named Kevin. Yes. How do you cash back? Learn more at chasefreedom.com. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Restrictions and limitations apply. Cards are issued by JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A., member FDIC.
What is it like guarding Yao Ming? Like,
it's impossible.
What did you do?
It was impossible. You know, Boban makes you feel like makes everyone look like a little kid. Right? Remember when Boban was doing this to Anthony Davis? And he couldn't touch it? That's what it was like for everyone with Yao Ming.
But imagine Yao Ming shot the technical fouls for Houston.
So crazy touch.
Crazy. So even if you thought you did good, he was just like, turnaround jumper, like you shoot on little kids. He's like,
he's 6 inches taller than Shaq.
That's wild.
6 inches taller than Shaq.
His legs were
tree trunks.
Yeah.
And so I was like, And then he was just
Would you call for help?
You can't double team him because he was just
he had dimes to
Ron Artest, who's averaging 30 that year. Like people forget Ron Artest was averaging 25 for a whole season.
If Yao was fully healthy and came around right now in today's
Oh.
NBA, but like
MVP,
It'd be like Shaq.
What?
More
really?
than Shaq. More than
Yeah,
Shaq.
because he could pick and rolls. He was going to get abused.
Okay.
But this was the problem. You were going to and this is where the game is different. I know Draymond talk a lot of shit. Draymond's not guarding him. Like that small ball, ball
right.
five.
That ain't going.
PJ Tucker. Like you can't do that with a guy that size because he will just duck in. You put it up.
He's shooting
You're going to
layups.
have to collapse, and then you throw it out. So yes, somebody might have to. Somebody, it's tough for him in the pick and roll. But like him, Shaq, you couldn't go Draymond on Shaq. Shaq used to force you to have 2 to 3 bigs on your roster. So immediately you lost depth on the perimeter because you had to have 2 or 3 bigs because you were going to have to foul him 18 times.
Yeah.
Like
he's just fouling people out.
I caught 05 Shaq. I didn't catch.
I caught 01 Shaq, bro.
I caught 05 Shaq, and like you look at video and you're like, damn, he's so big. As a human being, he's not supposed to move like that. I was playing in New York, right? We're up. I know he probably went out the night before, so I'm like, I'm not gonna say shit, right? I'm gonna just let this game go by. Third quarter comes and he's doing okay. They're down 6. He looks at me. He's like, okay, good game, Lil Fry. We got to win this now. And just
Lil Fry.
And it basically fucks me up for the whole quarter. Like, there's no fouling. There's no imagine trying to foul a tree moving like a cat and just dunk after hook shot after dunk. It's just impossible to move a human that big and that he's mean.
You know
That's
those
another
flybys?
problem.
You know those flybys you try and do?
Yeah.
And this is, first of all, if they called a foul every time you actually fouled Shaq, there were times he would dunk smack his arm, and the referee wouldn't even call it. That's facts. But you would do a flyby, just trying to hey, I'm coming to help. And he would be like, watch it, little fella. If you put your hand there, I'll break your wrist. And you're like,
oh, he's
Stop
telling
it.
you.
you're like, no,
What?
he was
Middle of the game?
If his,
middle of the game.
body and you try to block a ball and there's a rim right there, a
No.
metal bar, he'll
He
break
said,
your
I'll
wrist.
try and break your
No,
wrist.
he
Yes.
goes, I will
Me.
break your
I
wrist.
will.
He goes,
Me.
better watch your hand. I'll break your
Imagine
wrist.
somebody the size of Gobert with
150
a
more
Giannis
pounds.
attitude.
Yeah.
Like me and you, I'm gonna win this every single time. There's no
Roger Mason.
There's no-
What's that big guy?
And you were 230 trying to guard him?
because everyone else fouled out. We had Eddie Curry fouled out, Jerome James fouled out. We had me, we had David Lee, and everyone was like, "Who wants this?" I was like, "Damn."
Most dominant big man?
Not even most
Yeah.
dominant
Ever?
player.
Physically, yes. Like Kareem, let's not disrespect. Like you couldn't do shit with Kareem either, or Wilt and all these guys. But physically dominant, yeah. Who's somebody that Channing asked a bunch of players is who's somebody that when you got to the league, you were like, what the fuck, bro? Is this dude a real player? Like I know he's good.
You thought he was good?
You're like,
Yeah,
how
yeah,
good
yeah.
is he?
I mean,
Jalen Suggs said Kyrie. He was like, Kyrie's ridiculous. You know this video, but when you try and keep that fucker in front of you, you're like, he's not a real player.
so I'm going to give you 2 answers, and 2 of them are for different reasons. The first one is Giannis because it's like his mentality and his size and his length. It's like,
And he's always pissed.
I don't know. There are certain possessions where I don't know what you're supposed to do with that. Like, I really, truly,
I love that. honestly.
I really, truly, I mean, certainly I don't know what to do, but
We
I
had to have a huddle when we were in Cleveland about, hey guys, this is us. It was Shump, Braun, JR, me, Richard, Tristan, Kevin, all had to have a huddle like, hey, we all need to gather together.
And that was 6 years ago.
Yeah, that was baby Giannis.
And every
Yeah.
year he's
Baby
coming
Giannis.
back like just a little bit
Yoked
more
up
buffed up.
And matter.
He
Yeah.
don't enjoy summer. All he does is eat weights.
And there was something about like being in the bubble in that small, tight ass gym.
Made him bigger.
Just made him bigger. I swear to you. So that, and then the other one is, I mean, it's Kyrie because like you can just tell like he just like fucks around with the game because he wants to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it doesn't
I feel
interest
like he does
him.
that with a lot of things.
It doesn't interest him to just like come off a ball screen and like shoot a 3 because he's open. Like he wants to like sit in the pocket and like cut back and like step, like do something like not because the defense is
he's
making
bored.
him do it.
He's like bored.
No,
Yeah.
He wants to do workouts.
He shows
during the game.
Yes.
Kyrie comes in. It's like, let me show you this package that
Yes.
I'm about to go.
Yes.
This is what I'm gonna do. I'm going to split the screen. I'm like, Kyrie, but you're open in there. Yeah, but that's fine. I'm going to split the screen. Then I'm going to take the body. Then I'm going to go left-hand floater. Or then the next time, I'm going to show the left hand, then come fillet, finish high off the glass.
Yes.
Okay, Kai, go knock yourself out, bro.
Right.
It's ridiculous.
Kevin Durant has a little of that too,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
It's just like messing around with the game.
Yeah. Well, because it's just like there's no human being that's ever been created with his skill set. And I think Chet, not trying to compare them, but I'm saying as like a tall shooter skill, like you're not really contesting his.
Do that.
I'm
no
not.
offense.
No,
No offense.
They were doing it the other day. They were
No,
doing it the other day on the show.
But this is the problem
we
with
ain't
that.
doing that.
We forget who Kevin Durant was when he first came in. If you compare, but I'm saying you compare Kevin Durant's rookie year after his freshman year to Chet right now, you'd be like, I can see the thin comparison, the 7-foot skill set. I'm not comparing the two.
Okay.
It's like even people were like, oh, if you compare someone to Giannis, it's like, do you remember what Giannis looked like when he first came in?
That's fair.
Like you're not comparing him to the MVP Giannis now. You're comparing him to when he came in. And I'm sorry, Kevin Durant, he still is probably the most unguardable human being that's probably been created.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, he's a 7'2" guard.
Yeah,
Duncan,
with a 50-40-90 clip.
How? When I say Wemby, what comes to your mind?
Dude,
the
greatest prospect we have ever seen.
Yes.
Ever.
Thank you. People are
what
so
he is
stupid.
doing.
People are so stupid.
Is
yes.
ridiculous. He's 7'5". He's arguably one of the most skilled 18-year-olds ever.
18.
7'4", French player with an 8-foot wingspan.
Come on, you're fucking joking. He can stand there and touch the rim. Ooh,
It's little sweaty Pete's. Hey, listen. Oh yeah. Don't listen. It is people. I hate. Okay, because we're gonna clip this. This is gonna go on social media. People.
Thanks
it
for
was
telling
not
us how to do our jobs.
It was not a there because I know what they do. I know Jeremiah. They're great at their job. Look, people. We're not saying this from like a recency bias. There's examples in history of this. When I said that LeBron James would probably go number 2 in this exact same draft,
Absolutely.
Let me explain to you history. Where did Michael Jordan go? Michael Jordan went 3. Why? There were 2 bigs taken in front of him. You had Sam Bowie and you had Akeem Olajuwon. Understandably, the NBA will always go with size. That's just the way it is. We're talking about Michael Jordan hit the game-winning shot as a national champion freshman, like all the hype from at that time. Fast forward, where did Luka Doncic go? He went 3rd behind DeAndre Ayton and Marvin Bagley. Teams always go with size. LeBron James at 6'7", who is the most hyped, partly because he lived here. If Wembanyama had been going to Oak Hill and was from Georgia, we would be freaking out over him. It's because he's from France. So when I tell you this, Kevin Durant went the 6'11" 2 guard. Kevin Durant went number 2 to the big man. Do not sit up here. And again, if he was drafted by the Cavs, that's a caveat. Maybe Cleveland would have been like, we're going to go with the hometown boy. I get it. But if we're talking about rating, there has never been a prospect with this type of skill set that we have ever seen in the history of the game of basketball.
Allie, think about how unguardable Kevin Durant is, and then give him 5 inches. Stop. How do you guard him? Who do you resurrect Yao Ming to guard Yao Ming and Kevin Durant had a French baby?
Rudy Gobert was looking up at him. Rudy Gobert was looking up at him. Rudy Gobert is huge, yo. Rudy Gobert is one of the biggest.
He's going to transform basketball.
Got to stay healthy.
How do you guard him?
You can't.
He stays healthy. So 2 things I look at. Number 1, his shoulders. So where Chet has small shoulders and a long back.
He's like skinny Giannis. He looks like he could be Giannis.
A skinny Giannis. In his motor skills, he was doing dunks, and my wife was like, is that a real rim? This big motherfucker was throwing it through his legs like a windmill and catching and booming this shit. Allie, he was doing windmills. Like he was on a Nerf hoop. To be that big, usually they run like this. Did you see him guarding? He's blocking people, shooting step backs because his feet are most at times.
Allie, we're not done raving. Allie,
We're
not done raving. We're not done raving. There's
raving.
another thing
I wasn't going to stop you.
Okay, Allie, we're not done raving.
Defensively, I think he's better than he is offensively, which is disgusting. Look what Evan Mobley does look what Evan Mobley does for a team.
I love Mobley.
At 6'11", you love him. Think about, you took Mobley, and then you had a little sprinkle of Kevin Durant, right? Then you had some skills, and then you go, here you go. You're 6 more inches.
Yo, this is, look.
8 feet, Allie is so...
He's 7'4".
My thing was when he had that clip of him when he got beat at the free throw line, and the guy was already almost at the rim, and the dude just turned and just like blocked him. But he was still like at the freaking free throw line. Like,
the part that people don't understand is we are not saying that he is better or going to be Kevin Durant. I'm not saying that he's going to be better than Michael Jordan. I'm not saying he's going to be better than Kobe or LeBron. What I am saying is he has a combination of physical gifts and physical talents that, let's be honest, a lot of time you're drafted on your potential. There has never been a player that we've ever seen in the history of the game of basketball with that type of potential. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the all-time leading scorer, has hit 1 3-point shot. This kid went 7 for 11 from 3. He went 7 for 11 from 3, but understand this also. When you're talking about LeBron James developed into a very good shooter. He did not come into as a very good shooter. Another thing, and I'm going to give a personal example. I remember sitting at a table with T-Mac, with AI, with Vince, and listening to them talk about LeBron. Right? Like, yo, the kid's talented, but like, is he going to play point guard? It can't. AI was like, better not come out here and try and guard me. Like, cracking jokes. Listen to the way that NBA players talk about that guy. Giannis said, he's how I envision all basketball players to be in the year 2044. That's what Giannis said. The Greek freak, the guy that we're like, he's a freak of nature, is looking at him like that's the advanced version of basketball. LeBron is calling him an alien. They're like, no more unicorn shit. That's an alien. When you hear players talk about him, like, bro, anybody that wants to argue that he's not the greatest prospect that we've ever seen, they don't
watch him some more. Watch him some more. Also, you don't think, and the NBA doesn't want to hear it, but teams are about to go full no limit soldier, tanking the shit. I said this on NBA TV, and Brendan Haywood said, hey, make them say, because they're going to be tank king. Grandma's going to be out there. You might as well bring the G League boys up now. People are going to have broken toes.
Who do you think he's going to go to if you look at the teams right now?
No, it doesn't matter. There's going to be teams that like make this, and they will lose. Because even to be, because it's like, they're going to lose. There's like a certain percentage, and then you go to the next tier. To be in those tiers, they'll do. Don't forget, Tim Duncan, the Spurs had like a 2% chance to get Tim Duncan, and they got him, right? Like, do whatever you got to do to increase your percentage, and rightfully so.
Richard, you became a ref. And I don't know about you, Channing, but every single place I walk now, people want to know if Richard Jefferson is really going to become an official in the NBA. To which I say yes every single time. How did your experience
Did you not see him get booed? They fired him on the halftime.
I cannot.
They fired him in the corner. They said, they said.
I cannot express to you.
Get him out.
I cannot express to you how I will never, ever referee ever again under any circumstance. Like that jersey, I don't know if I'm gonna hang it up. I might frame it. I might frame my jersey, right? I got a referee jersey. I'm probably gonna frame my referee jersey with my whistle, my Fox 40. That's what they call it. They don't call it a whistle, they call it a Fox 40.
Why?
Exactly, because that's just the name of the brand. I'm telling you, it's a whole nother world, that referee world. It's hey, did they get you a Fox 40? And it's just like, what the fuck is a Fox 40? Like a whistle? Yeah, it's got a little symbol on it. But yeah, anyways, I'm getting a little deep in it. It was an amazing experience. When I tell you their job is over the top, it is so hard. And like, there's so much stuff before you even get into like the actual just game management, like learning where to stand, learning how to transition, all these different things. Then you got to sprint up and down. You never seen a referee call for a timeout before. Like those dudes are in such ridiculous shape. And if the game is going, they're going. And it's just like, it was eye opening. I always had a tremendous amount of respect for the referees, and I would always crack jokes with them. That's why, when I was sitting in those rooms, I got texts from like probably 5 or 6 different referees that were like, "What are you doing? You have some balls to be going out there." I was like, "Yeah, I don't know what on earth and why I'm deciding to do this." It was a bad idea. But I was I was thinking about how to back out up until like 12 hours before.
Richard, I will say this. I don't know if I've ever seen you visibly nervous.
Oh,
you were
so
fucking nervous.
Oh, super.
You were nervous.
Richard
was like, whoop, go this way. Richard, he was like, well, yeah, go. He's out. But they were like, Richard, he hasn't taken the ball out. Yeah, take the ball out here. Do I do it here? Do I do it here? Richard double thought every single call.
Everything.
He was like, field goal. No, Richard, that's 3-pointer. He just made a free throw. You guys ready?
Look, listening to, I think it was awesome too to have Monty McCutcheon on the broadcast while you were officiating, right? It was cool because he said it right away, like to Channing's point. You could just tell. He's like, he's overthinking everything right now. He's just thinking so much.
But let's just say
Richard has never been accused of that until that moment.
Let me say this. Let's add some flavor to this. All right. I had not been on an NBA court in any capacity since I retired. So let's add that part of it. 2, we're doing the Knick game because I was supposed to originally do the Orlando game, OKC game, but then it ended up
nobody
being
was
one,
going to watch.
But it ended up being 1 versus 2. It ended up being 1 versus 2. So they were like, "Oh no, we're going to bump you to the next game." The next game ends up being the Knick game. Like if I could have any more pressure, Knicks fans hate me. They loathe me.
Hate your
and
ass.
now all of a sudden they have their undefeated summer league team about to be in a game with me reffing. They were in the crowd heckling me. They were in the crowd talking shit. And I'm just sitting here like, I am very exposed right now. Like even if you laughing and joking, you're still exposed. And so now even getting to one fan, little asshole was like, I'm running through it. He's like, "Jefferson, there's 3 minutes to go. Don't blow it." And I'm sitting here like, and the funny thing about it is I was literally counting down every minute, right? I was counting down every minute, just like, okay, we got to the 7-minute mark. We're still alive. Okay, we haven't embarrassed our family and our lives, right? But look, why do you do it? You do it, 1, because I learned so much about the game, their mindsets, everything. 2, you got to get yourself out of your comfort zone. Like that was the most nervous I'd ever been because there's never been something that I would enter into that I wasn't like ultra prepared for. And I was definitely not prepared for that shit. So, but that's why you do it. That's what makes it fun. But I will never fucking referee again. Ever.
Kudos to you for stepping out. I do also think it's kind of like when we talk about, whether it's coaches right now who have been in the media space and vice versa. When it comes to those media obligations, it's like you understand. It's like Steve Kerr. He was on this side and he was a media member. He called games, et cetera. And now he's in the coaching space. So he understands those third quarter, first quarter interviews. Even though you may not want to be a part of them at that time, you have all these other tasks, et cetera. It's a part of it. It's a responsibility. So for you, to your point, as you're calling games now and understanding calls and officiating, I loved the clip that was put together when Braun had approached you during the game and you're like, "Look, I'm not here to make those calls." But now you have a little kind of, a different kind of understanding and a perspective of an official.
And in my defense, fucking Braun, don't come over and ask me what the hell's going on, bro. like I'm watching the game from a very different eye, bro. And then Braun, even Luka, that's my guy. Luka, you're awesome. Follow you on TikTok, bro. You're dope. Luka comes over and starts cracking jokes and people asking me questions. I'm like, apparently I have to know the rule book because these guys want to come over and fuck with me. And so Braun was like, "How could he change it?" I'm like, "Braun, if I was sitting on that bench right now, you wouldn't be asking me. You know me. You wouldn't be asking me or Channing. You wouldn't be asking me or Channing. I'm like, bro, like, why are you talking to me? You've never asked me this question. We were teammates for 2 years and change."